Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Wellington, and this is the show where we dive into real issues submitted by you, our viewers, and work through them together with honesty and empathy. Today, I'm joined by Kendall, who's navigating something that's making her question her place in her marriage. Kendall, thank you so much for being here and for trusting this space with your story.
Thanks for having me, Wellington. I'm honestly relieved to finally talk about this because it's been eating at me for a while.
I'm glad you're here. So let's get into it. You mentioned that your husband is very flirty with other women, and it's making you feel like you're not his priority. Can you paint a picture for me? What does this flirting look like?
It happens everywhere, at parties, at dinners with friends, even just casual conversations. He'll laugh a little too hard at their jokes, touch their arm when he's talking, compliment them in ways that feel excessive. Like, "You look amazing tonight," to my friend, or "You're so funny, I love talking to you," to a coworker.
And when you see this happening, what goes through your mind?
Honestly, I feel invisible. Like I'm standing right there and he's giving all his attention and energy to someone else. And then I start wondering if he finds them more attractive, more interesting, more everything than me.
That's a painful place to be. Have you talked to him about this?
I have, multiple times. And every time he says the same thing. "I'm just being friendly. You're being insecure. I chose you, didn't I?" And then I feel like I'm the crazy, jealous wife who can't handle her husband talking to other women.
Hold on. There's a big difference between talking to other women and flirting with other women. Let me ask you this, Kendall. Does he interact with men the same way he interacts with these women?
No, not even close. With guys, he's just normal. But with women, especially attractive women, it's like he turns on this charm. It's a completely different energy.
So it's not just you being insecure. There's an actual behavioral difference. That's important. When he dismisses your concerns by saying, "I'm just being friendly," he's gaslighting you. He's making you doubt your own perception of what you're clearly seeing.
I felt like I was going crazy. Like maybe I am just too sensitive or jealous.
You're not. Trust what you see, Kendall. If it looks different, feels different, and makes you uncomfortable, that's real. Now, let me ask, does this flirting ever cross into anything more? Texting, social media interactions, anything like that?
I don't think it's physical, if that's what you're asking, but yeah, there's texting. I've seen messages on his phone where he's complimenting women, using emojis, having these long conversations about nothing important. And when I ask about it, he says they're just friends.
Kendall, here's what I want you to understand. Emotional boundaries matter just as much as physical ones. If he's giving other women the kind of attention, validation, and emotional energy that should be reserved for his wife, that's a problem, even if nothing physical is happening.
That's exactly how it feels, like he's investing in them instead of me.
And how does he treat you in comparison? Does he compliment you, flirt with you, give you that same charm and attention?
Not really. I mean, sometimes he'll say something nice, but it's not like how he is with them. With me, it's comfortable. With them, it's exciting.
And that's the heart of it, isn't it? You don't just want to be comfortable. You want to feel desired, chosen, celebrated. You want to feel like you're still the woman he can't take his eyes off of.
Yes, exactly. I want to feel like I matter most, not like I'm just there.
You should feel that way. That's not asking for too much. Let me ask you something else. Why do you think he does this? What do you think he gets out of flirting with other women?
I think he likes the validation. He likes knowing he's still got it, that women find him attractive or charming. Maybe it makes him feel good about himself.
That's a really insightful observation. A lot of people flirt because it feeds their ego. It's a hit of validation that says, "I'm still desirable." But here's the thing. If he needs that validation from other women, that points to something deeper, either insecurity, a need for external approval, or, honestly, just immaturity.
I never thought about it that way.
And here's the other piece. Whatever he's getting from this attention, he's choosing that over your feelings. Even when you've told him it hurts you, he keeps doing it. That's a choice, Kendall. He's choosing his ego boost over your emotional safety.
That makes me angry.
Good. You should be angry. Anger can be clarifying. It can help you see what's actually happening instead of making excuses for him or blaming yourself.
But Wellington, what if I'm not enough? What if the reason he's doing this is because I'm not giving him something he needs?
Stop right there. This is not about you not being enough. This is about him not having appropriate boundaries. You could be the most attentive, attractive, amazing wife in the world, and if he's the kind of person who needs constant validation from other women, he'd still do this. This is his issue, not your inadequacy.
It's hard not to take it personally, though.
I know it is, but if you internalize this as your failure, you're going to twist yourself into knots trying to be enough, and it still won't stop him. Because the problem isn't what you're lacking, it's what he's choosing.
So what do I do? How do I get him to stop?
First, you need to have a conversation where you're not asking for his permission to feel how you feel. You're saying, "This bothers me and it needs to change." Big difference.
How do I say that without it turning into a fight?
You be clear and calm. Something like, "I need to talk to you about something that's affecting how safe I feel in our marriage. When you flirt with other women, the compliments, the touching, the texting, it makes me feel like I'm not your priority. I'm not asking you to never talk to women. I'm asking you to have boundaries that honor our relationship. That means no excessive compliments, no physical touching beyond what's appropriate, and no private conversations that would make me uncomfortable if I read them."
And if he says I'm being controlling?
Then you ask him, "If I was doing this with other men, would you be okay with it? Because I'm willing to bet he wouldn't be." And if he tries to flip it or make it about your insecurity, you don't take the bait. You stay focused. This isn't about insecurity. This is about respect. I'm your wife, and I'm asking you to prioritize how I feel over the validation you get from other women.
That feels really direct.
It needs to be. You've already tried the soft approach, and he's dismissed you. Direct doesn't mean mean, it means clear. And Kendall, you deserve clarity in your marriage.
What if he agrees in the moment, but then nothing changes?
Then you escalate. You say, "We agreed to this, and I'm still seeing the same behavior. Either we need to go to couples therapy so we can work through this with a professional, or I need to seriously reconsider whether this marriage is meeting my needs." And I know that sounds extreme, but if he can't or won't respect a basic boundary like this, what does that tell you about the relationship?
That he doesn't value me the way I need to be valued.
Exactly. And you have to decide if you're willing to live with that. Some people are okay with a partner who flirts as long as it doesn't go further, but it sounds like you're not, and that's completely valid.
I'm not okay with it. It makes me feel awful.
Then you have your answer about what needs to change. Now let me ask you this. If the roles were reversed, if you were the one flirting with other men, giving them attention, texting them, would he be okay with that?
Absolutely not. He'd lose his mind.
So he has a double standard. He expects you to accept behavior from him that he wouldn't tolerate from you. That's not partnership. That's him wanting to have his cake and eat it too.
I never thought about it that way, but you're right.
And that's something you can point out to him. You're asking me to be okay with something you wouldn't accept if I did it. That's not fair, and it's not sustainable. Either we both have the same standards, or this isn't going to work.
I'm scared that if I push this, he'll leave.
Kendall, if you expressing a reasonable need in your marriage makes him leave, then he was never fully committed in the first place. And I know that's terrifying to consider, but it's also freeing, because you can't build a real marriage with someone who only wants to be there on their terms.
That's true. I guess I'd rather know now than 10 years from now.
Exactly. And here's the other thing. You standing up for yourself might actually be what gets his attention. Some people don't take things seriously until they realize they're about to lose something. When you've been accommodating and passive, there's no urgency for him to change. But when you draw a hard line, suddenly it becomes real.
So I need to be willing to walk away if he doesn't change.
You need to be willing to choose yourself if he won't choose you. That doesn't mean you immediately file for divorce. It means you get clear on what you will and won't accept, and you stick to it. Boundaries only work if you enforce them.
This is a lot to process.
It is, but you're stronger than you think, Kendall. You reached out for help because you know this isn't right. That's already the first step. Now you just need to trust yourself enough to act on what you know.
Thank you, Wellington. I really needed to hear all of this.
You're welcome. And remember, you're not asking for something unreasonable. You're asking to feel cherished and prioritized in your own marriage. That's the bare minimum, not an extravagance.
I'll remember that.
Good. And listeners, if you're dealing with a partner whose behavior makes you feel small, invisible, or less than, pay attention to that feeling. Your intuition is usually right, and you deserve a relationship where you don't have to compete for attention or wonder if you matter. That's all for today's episode of Let's Talk About It. If you want to submit your own issue, drop it in the comments or email us. And if this conversation resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about real issues. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'll see you next time.